Hi guys. So my name is Melinda and we are going to talk about assessment practices and strengths for home and school connection. So today we'll be talking about what are assessments and why are they important, what type of assessments are there, when and why are assessments prepared and performed, how can parents help their child to be prepared for assessments, and how and when can assessments be shared with parents? So to begin, what are assessments? Assessments is a tool to gather and provides educators, parents, and families information about their their child's development and growth. Why is assessments important? It's important because you can evaluate, measure, and document the academic and learning progress skills for educators' need of students. It's just a way to help monitor students' progress as it provides useful feedbacks to instructors and students to measure which students have met the learning curriculums. Types of assessments. So I chose 6 types of assessments, and these are the ones that caught my attention. If we could start with the formative assessments, it is a child's understanding during the learning process. It helps teachers know if the students understand the concept and if their teaching strategies are working or not. This is usually tested like by data or observations or interactions. A useful tool that I've seen at my work is the green, yellow, red box where after lesson, how do they feel about the new curriculum that they're learning. And so it just gives feedback to teachers to see how we can help them. The next one is a summative assessment. This happens at the end of the learning periods and evaluates the learning of the children. So it helps teachers get a understanding of the child's proficiency after a lesson or unit. This is usually graded and they either have consequences or concerns if a child hasn't mastered the key concept. So this is usually like when kids before going to recess, they'll talk about what's going on with their tests, or sometimes we call parents to see what's going on if they're not passing the assessments frequently. Next one is observational assessment. Educators are observing the child to understand their skill, behavior, interaction, activities during daily routine and playtime. So we're usually just looking at the kid, seeing how they socialize or when they're happy or frustrated or other emotions that they have. The next one is pre-assessment. Provides a way for educators to gather information about what students know and can do before instruction. Educators can also tell what interests and learning styles students have. This can either be on paper and pencils, like seeing if they use complete sentences. This is also can be one-on-one, seeing how the child responds, how they respond back using complete sentences, or sometimes there will be no responses. We can also tell by games, having like puzzles or coloring or other activities. Anecdotal record. This is a narrative point of view. The teacher takes notes and observes the child's development, learning, achievement, challenges, experiences throughout the day, and they usually focus on the fine motor skills. An example for that one is if a child, let's see if I can zoom in right here. If the child helps others with problems, they'll mark that down. Oh, it's important to understand that the INET record and observational assessments are two different things. The observational is seeing how the student is, and the anecdote record is how the child like reacts or provides what they how to interact. Next one, I really think it's important is the portfolios. It's a record of it's a record that gives you an individual portrait of a child's development over time in our center. So it keeps tracks of each child's learning, and identifies patterns in it identifies patterns in their behavior and development. It's also a collaborative tool between educators, the child, and parents. And some teachers can have physical or digital portfolios. It's whichever they prefer. I think this one's really important because you can keep track of how they did either before they started, during, and the end of the school year. And also it keeps tracks of how a child's behavior development during a unit or lesson. When and why are assessments prepared and performed? So this allows teachers to obtain more specific information about each student's knowledge and skills they have learned in their classroom. It takes place at every stage of the learning process. Children are frequently taking assessments just to help them prepare and gain the information. They're usually taken before, during, and after a lesson or unit. This is also helpful because it helps educators and it gives educators and parents feedback on how their child or even the teacher is doing. Parents' involvement. So it's important that students are very comfortable with assessments, and these are the three things that are important. How we can make that happen is to build a positive environment, to build trust and a relationship with one another, foster a growth mindset, and try to minimize stress and anxiety. Our program and families need a way to communicate and find methods and build a strong relationship between parents and educators to ensure the best education for children. And I feel we can do how parents can do that is communicating with the educator. So having phone calls, emails, Zoom or meeting, even letter homes is just get that communication in. Parents can volunteer and engage in events and activities. Um, Parents can give a learning environment at home to establish goals for home and school with their child. Having that also the communication, but with students, talking about assessments, having them be involved and excited just so they can try their 100% best in those assessments, and making assessments part of the teaching and learning process. When and how can assessments be shared? Sharing assessment information with parents help them understand their child's progress, strengths, and areas that may require additional attention. So also when parents have concerns about their child's education, they are welcome to contact us and we'll be able to help them. And if there's a portfolio for their child, parents are allowed to go through it with one of the educators. Our program will have 2 conferences per year. This just allows educators and parents to have time to connect and discuss about their child's overall progress and well-being. That is it. These are my resources. Thank you so much for watching.